Weirdest household rules ever. When this kid was like 8 years old, he was hanging out at his friend's house, and they were playing video games in his friend's room upstairs. Well, this kid had to pee very bad, so he went to the bathroom on the second floor of the house, and he started peeing. Well, somehow his friend's mom knew he was peeing in that upstairs bathroom, and she rushed up there and started banging on the door. "Excuse me, what are you doing in here? Kyle? You better not be peeing." She said he couldn't pee in that bathroom because this bathroom is for nighttime peeing only, and it's daytime right now, you can't be peeing in here. So she made this kid stop peeing midstream, and she sent him to the downstairs bathroom to finish. When he finished and left the downstairs bathroom, she was standing there waiting for him. "I bet you learned your lesson, huh?" "Yeah, I called your mom. She's on her way to get you right now. You are never allowed here ever again." "But never again." What? I was almost mugged, but this is how I got out of it. I was walking home to my apartment on a cold, snowy Chicago evening, and I decided to take a shortcut. As I was walking through the alleys, I heard someone behind me yell, "Hey man, come here." And because it was late and I was skeptical, I just kept on walking. But he started following me. It was definitely a little sus. This is the point where I started straight up running to my apartment. I'm running and this guy's chasing me. I finally see the back of my apartment when I slip and fall on a big sheet of ice. At this point, the guy was catching up to me and I was like, alright, he's gonna get me, oh well. And I just started crying, screaming, flailing around. And what I didn't know at the time is that when I fell on the ice, my pants fell down too. And this guy gets to me, and I'm preparing for the worst. But I guess my pantsless screaming self made him feel very uncomfortable because all he said was, "Oh hell no," and he ran away. And that's how I avoided being mugged. Facts about celebrities that nobody really talks about. Matthew Perry from Friends lost a part of his middle finger after he slammed it in a car door when he was 3 years old. You can see it right here in this screenshot from a Friends episode. Elvis Presley was actually a natural blonde, but he started using black shoe polish to darken his hair because he thought it made him more handsome. Denzel Washington has dislocated his pinky finger so many times that sometimes it just falls out of place. In 1978, Tim Allen, known for his roles in Home Improvement and The Santa Claus, was caught with 1.4 pounds of cocaine on him. He was facing some serious prison time, but he snitched on other dealers in exchange for a smaller sentence. When Angelina Jolie was 22, she hired a hitman to kill her. She was going through a really tough time and wanted to escape, but the hitman was a decent enough person to ask her if that's what she really wanted. He told her to think about it and call him in 2 months. Well, she changed her mind. She said something changed, and she decided to stick it out. The worst things people did in school. One day in middle school, one of the popular students wanted to mess with a kid that was bullied often. They were in class, and when this kid went to the bathroom, the popular kid cut the straps of his backpack. Hey, watch this. A few minutes after the kid got back, he noticed. What the heck? Did you do this? Loser. Turns out that kid's family didn't have a lot of money at all, so for the rest of the school year he had to carry around his backpack in his hands because he couldn't afford a new one.
Nice backpack, loser.
Kids that were legends in their high school. A follower submission. This guy sent me a story of how he became popular at his school. Recently, this guy moved to a brand new school. He had no friends and nobody knew who he was. Well, one day in class, he heard one of the popular kids say, "I'm hungry for some pizza." And that gave him an idea. He asked to go to the bathroom, and when he was in the bathroom, he went on DoorDash and ordered a few pizzas to be delivered to the school. The pizzas arrived when he was still in class, so he told the driver just to leave it in the office with his name on it. When lunch came around, he went to the office, grabbed the pizzas, and found that popular kid who said he was hungry for pizza and gave him a whole box. That kid and his friends were hyped. He then took the other pizzas and sold a few slices to other students. He made $20, but after that, he was no longer a nobody. He became pretty popular, and now everyone calls him the Pizza Boy. Nice. This man tried to get revenge on somebody that killed him in a video game. Julien Barreau was a 20-year-old Counter-Strike player living in France. But one day in the game, someone stabbed him and killed his character. Well, that did not make him happy at all. He spent months hunting down the opponent that killed him, and he eventually found him. He entered his house and stabbed him multiple times. Luckily, the victim survived. The knife missed his heart by centimeters. The judge called Barreau a menace to society and sentenced him to 2 years in prison and anger management lessons. I feel like they went too easy on him. What do you think? Craziest things teachers caught their students with. This teacher said that one day when he was trying to give a student a detention, the student pulled out an Uno switch card and genuinely thought that would get him out of it. That's not how it works, my friend. This next teacher said that one day he confiscated a makeshift taser from one of his students. The kid had rigged it by using multiple 9-volt batteries, wire, tape, and a button that was taken off from a toy. And the last one. At this one elementary school, a student came in with a bag. The teacher was kind of concerned, so she looked inside the bag, and turns out there was a live baby in there. Apparently, this kid wanted to show her friends her brand new little brother. My question is, how'd the parents let this happen? Sus. She broke up with her boyfriend, and then this happened. This woman broke up with her boyfriend because he was always putting her through tests to test her loyalty. One example being he would have one of his friends text her to try to get her to cheat. She never did, but he began doing this so much and she was tired of it. You know what, Steven? I can't do this anymore, okay? We are done. I'm breaking up with you. Fine, if that's what you really want. It is. Well, a few weeks later, somebody called her and told her that her ex-boyfriend died in a horrible car accident. Oh my god. Oh. The person that shared the news with her also sent her information, the date and the time of his funeral. But she felt so guilty because she had just broken up with him. She couldn't bring herself to talk to his parents or to attend the funeral. Well, the day after the funeral, she got a text from her ex-boyfriend, the one that died. Yeah, he wasn't dead at all. He just faked his own death to see how she would react. Craziest things found in fast food. A Florida resident ordered a sandwich from Arby's, but when he took a bite, he found a large piece of bloody skin under the bun. This led to an investigation. Turns out the restaurant manager was cutting lettuce when he accidentally sliced a large piece of skin off of his thumb. He immediately cleaned his thumb, but he forgot to empty the lettuce, which is where the piece of skin fell. And later that day, he made a sandwich for a customer using the same lettuce bin that he forgot to throw out. And that's how it got into his sandwich. The man then sued Arby's for $75,000. This virtual reality headset will kill you in real life if you die in the game. This is called Nerve Gear, and it was invented by Palmer Luckey. He invented this saying that graphics can only make a game look so real, but only the threat of serious consequences can make a game feel real. This device has 3 explosive charged modules right above the viewing screen. These charges are aimed directly at the brain and are capable of killing a person instantly. The headset also has another feature. Palmer plans to add an anti-tamper mechanism to it, making the device impossible to remove or destroy once it's put on. This headset will probably never be sold to the public, and the inventor won't even try it on because there is a high chance that it will malfunction and could kill the user at the wrong time. Famous death row meal requests. John Spankelink was convicted on 1 count of murder and armed robbery. He was put to death in Florida State Prison in 1979. However, for his last meal, he denied food. He was a heavy drinker, so all he wanted was 1 flask full of Jack Daniel's whiskey, which he drank and shared with the prison superintendent. Timothy McVeigh was the American terrorist behind the Oklahoma City bombings, which killed 168 people. He was sentenced to death, and for his last meal, he requested 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Peter J. Minial confessed to his crimes of murder and robbery, and he said he was ready to pay the price. He was sentenced to death, and his last meal request was insane. He got 20 beef tacos, 20 beef enchiladas, 2 double cheeseburgers, a pizza with jalapenos, fried chicken, spaghetti with salt, half a chocolate cake, half a vanilla cake, cookies and cream ice cream, caramel pecan fudge ice cream, and a small fruit cake. And lastly, James Edward Smith. And when it came down to his final meal request, all he wanted was a lump of soil. The weirdest things ever sold in Japanese vending machines. Horned beetles. In Japan, these are considered to be good luck, as well as a fun thing to play with. And these live beetles are sold out of vending machines, so kids can buy them and play with them. And bug collectors can add them to their collection. Would you ever buy one of these? You can buy a girl's phone number out of a vending machine in Japan as well. Phone chat is a big business in Japan, and these numbers actually work. It seems a little sus to me. One of the most infamous Japanese vending machine items was women's used underwear. They had them in things like this. Now there's very few of these machines left, and the underwear in these machines weren't actually used. They were just made to look like they were. Once again, that's incredibly sus. Some pet shops in Japan put these live puppy vending machines on the sidewalk. Luckily for the dogs though, they don't have to be dispensed like a normal vending machine. Once someone buys it, they're just taken out by hand. And lastly, live lobster vending machines. These lobsters are placed in water inside a crane-style game. This one's actually pretty cool. The worst step parents of all time. When this kid was 11 years old, his dad and his stepmom had been married for 5 years. Well, one day, his stepmom took him to get some ice cream. Right after she bought him a cone, they sat down, and she said she wanted to talk. This is what she said. "I think it's best if you went to live with your mom full time. No one in our house loves you. Your father and I both think you are a bastard child who takes all of our money. You smell weird, you can't do anything for yourself, nobody loves you. And not to mention you are a pathetic waste of life and you are ruining the love between me and your father. Enjoy your ice cream cone." She then left the ice cream shop without him and drove away. "Where are you going? You can't just leave me here." Leaving him there, all by himself with no way to get home. Times people sucked. This guy was walking around his neighborhood one day when he saw a dog. The dog looked cold and hungry. It was obviously lost. "Poor dog, oh my god, you look so hungry. Come with me." He brought the dog home with him and gave him some food and water. Then he took the dog to the address that was on the dog's collar. "Yeah. Hi, yes, is this your dog? I found him wandering around earlier." "Thank you so much. Have an amazing day." As he started to walk away from the house, he heard the man begin to yell loudly and beat his dog. He called the police, but they couldn't do anything about it. Well, a couple days later, he was driving through his neighborhood, and it was raining really bad. He passed this dude's house and he saw the dog, chained, outside, shivering in the cold rain. He then proceeded to steal this dog. "Hey, it's okay, buddy, it's okay. You're coming with me." He's with a much better family now. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. This follower told me a story about a kid at his high school. So this kid was a senior, and he started running this business. People would come to him if they wanted to change their grade, from a C to a B or from a B to an A. It only had to be one letter grade up. For example, if somebody had a D, he would not change their grade to an A. It's too suspicious. Well, he charged $10 for every grade changed. And every Friday, once he got all the orders in for the week, he would take his laptop to the bathroom, hack into the teacher's grading system, and change the grades. Eventually, he got caught and was suspended. But in total, he made about $1,000. He thought this is how babies were made. This guy shared a story of how in junior year of high school, his friend had no idea how babies were made. This is what he thought would happen. He actually believed that when you got married and you and your wife were ready to have a baby, you would take your wife to a hospital, they would put you in a room, and you would pee on your wife. And then bingo, your wife was pregnant. His friend was like, no dude, that's actually super messed up. He then educated his friend on how exactly babies are conceived. Needless to say, his friend was incredibly embarrassed.